We're going to continue here on Radio Boss. We're joined by a gentleman, as a matter of fact, has had a fantastic career. And if I was to name every project he was in, we'd be here all day. But the two that I remember the most, and it would tell you that I'm of a certain age, Menace II Society and Dead Presidents. He's laughing right there. And of course, he plays the role of Pastor Coleman in BMF. You can check him out every Friday at 9 p.m. on Stars. He is Clifton Powell. He joins us here on Radio Boss. Clifton, welcome to the program.
Man, I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to be here. Speaking on behalf of BMF, I had a great shoot last year when we did this episode, and the show is amazing, and so I'm just glad to be a part.
Absolutely, that's crazy because it's a year ago you're doing this year, which is great. But Pastor Coleman, tell us about your role as Pastor Coleman.
Well, Pastor Coleman is a capitalist. That's all I can say. He sells his books in the church. He has the ATM machine in the lobby. He's throwing money in the aisles. It's, there's some churches around the country, which I will not name, but, they want to see your tax returns. Church is big business, and I'm not against church, but this guy is over the top. And I had a great time playing him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And then so Lucille Flannery, her, of course, is played by Nicole Brianna White.
Yes.
And so now she's a pastor, I believe, of the, or at least a minister at the church. And you've counseled, I think, in the first episode. I've seen the first 5, but maybe the second episode, you've sort of counseled her a little bit and have counseled her actually. Just talk about that, and then how you all's roles kind of intertwine.
Well, I think I'm a senior pastor, and, of course, this guy does believe in, God, and he's a good pastor. But I think this new wave of money that comes out of the community, he's a little overzealous about that. And I think, that's what we'll see. But I'm still, counseling her and being spiritually grounded and being there for her people and her family and her community. Of course, going through the things she's gone through with her sons. So that's kind of where that angle is,
Yeah. Can you speak to playing with this? This is a really good cast. And with you there now, it's like it's a bit of a mix of younger people and a veteran cast also. Can you sort of speak to that in playing with this cast?
Yeah, well, I think 50, of course, has his hand on the pulse of what people want, and giving, a seasoned guy like myself, Nicole, and my brother that plays the father, who's one of my guys. Please tell me his name again. Playing the father.
Oh, that's Russell Hornsby.
Russell Hornsby.
Yeah.
Hornsby. That's my guy. And so you got a good balance of young actors and a good balance of seasoned actors. I've seen Russell, man, in the New York days, and then seen him in Fences and stuff. He's a wonderful actor. Nicole, who I'm so proud of, because in early days in LA, we were all trying to find work, and a lot of people shot out before she did. And when I really got the call to do the show and I looked at the cast, I was just so overjoyed. And I told her right after one of my sermons, I said, I'm so happy for you because you hung in there and she never quit. And now she's playing an amazing role on an amazing show. So it's really, I think it's good to have a mixture of seasoned actors with the young actors, because it's like a basketball, football team. You got your veterans, and sometimes these young kids today, they wild and crazy. Come, hey, Cliff, what should I do here? I'm like, bring it down, calm down, do this. So it's always a good mixture, and everybody in the cast is always is so cool. Da Vinci, all the young guys have been wonderful. So it's been great.
It is indeed an honor to talk with Clifton Powell. He plays the role of Pastor Coleman in, of course, BMF. Check him out each and every Friday on Stars. He joins us here on Radio Boss. Can I take you back a little bit to Chauncey like that? That's like a sort of an iconic role, right? Like, do people still talk to you about that when you played that role in Menace II Society? I was 19 years old when that movie came out.
Well, I want to add one thing. I'm in episode 3. So I'm on June 20th. So, hopefully they bring me back for next season and the season after, so Pastor's trying to find his way, but I think I'll win my way into the hearts of the fans, because this guy is really a preacher, man. I mean, I I had to take a break at some point. My head was like bubbly, and I said to myself, I said, I don't know how preachers preach the 8 o'clock service, the 11 o'clock service, and then there's a 1 o'clock service. I'm like, wow, because it takes a lot of energy. Um, I get stopped all the time about Chauncey or Cuddy from Dead Presidents. So, and of course, Pinky's kind of taken over, but all the old school cats, hey, Chauncey, and oh, snitch, and then Dead Presidents, of course, Cuddy. Everybody loves that character. Oh, so most of the older crowd loves Rock, Chauncey, and Cuddy from Menace II Society. So every day, and then everybody else just calls me Pinky.
Very good. Last thought. Can you
Yes, sir.
speak to growing up in Washington, D.C., what that meant to you? See, I've got my shirt on. It's got Nationals, Commanders, Wizards, and Nationals, right? All the teams. But growing up in D.C.
Man, growing up in DC was really unique because when I grew up in DC, it was called Chocolate City. And, I was just surrounded by so many wonderful African American men and women who were strong and helped raise me. Um, my teachers, Debbie Allen was my dance teacher. Some of my teachers have passed on. I got to give honor to them. Charles Brown, who was a wonderful actor. Peggy Cooper Cafridge, who started Workshop for Careers in the Arts, which I was a part of. Glenda Dickerson, who came in and took me under her wings. Skipper Driscoll, God rest their souls. Kenneth Doherty, Mike Malone. It was just a potpourri of wonderful people. John Thompson Sr. was my high school basketball coach at St.
What?
Anthony's. Yes. And everybody knows, probably everybody, but the DC folks know James Brown is my nephew. And we tease each other because his mom is my sister, which makes me his uncle. So he always breaks down, well, Cliff is my uncle. My mom, that's my mom's brother. But I was like, JB, you ain't got to tell him all that. I'm Uncle Cliff, But JB had a great hand in raising me and keeping me, I grew up in Kenilworth Parkside area. It was a pretty rough area back in the day. And I had so many parents and teachers of all nationalities. I have some great white teachers. And so, growing up in DC with the shrimp boat, miles long, and all the places that we went to when I was a kid, wings and things, man. And just growing up in that environment instilled in me a certain level, a certain kind of strength about being an African American man, a dark-skinned African American man. Because back in my day, from the 60s to like almost the 80s, if you were my complexion, man, it was almost like you had the plague. And I got ridiculed a lot, but I had a lot of wonderful teachers who instilled a confidence in me. So I don't know, other than maybe Detroit, maybe Baltimore, maybe Oakland, where people grew up with that black melting pot and a whole bunch of good white folks. That's what I say.
Absolutely. Check him out each and every Friday. Clifton Powell plays the role of Pastor Coleman on BMF. He joins us here on Radio Boss. Clifton, really appreciate the time. Happy Father's Day. Continued success in all you do.
Thank you so much. I love you, DMV. I love you, DC. And when I get there, I got to get me some crabs. Got to get them. Love y'all.
All right. Appreciate you.